The world is not merely seen with the eyes nor felt with the hands. The deepest, most profound realities, the very architects of empires and legacies, are first perceived in a realm far more potent, the theater of the mind. Before the steel touched the sky, before the brush met the canvas, before the first note resonated in a symphony, it was all there, vivid and complete within the boundless landscape of human thought. This is not mere daydreaming. This is the fundamental principle that separates the dreamer from the doer, the wish from the wealth, the aspiration from the achievement. This is the power to visualize your victory, make it your reality. Look closely at the titans who have reshaped our world. The Henry Fords, who saw automobiles for the masses before the first assembly line turned. The Walt Disneys, who conjured entire kingdoms of joy from humble drawings. The Andrew Carnegies, who envisioned industrial dominance long before the roar of his steel mills filled the valleys. These individuals did not stumble into greatness by accident. They harnessed a power far more fundamental than physical labor or inherited privilege. They possessed the audacious ability to see their victory, to feel its texture, to hear its sound, to taste its triumph, long before a single tangible piece of evidence existed in the external world. They understood intimately that the external world is but a mirror, reflecting back the dominant images held within the mind. What you consistently hold in your inner eye with unwavering conviction and burning desire eventually begins to materialize in your outer experience. This is not magic. This is the law of creation, a principle as immutable as gravity, a force waiting for you to wield it. This journey begins with a fundamental re-engineering of your mindset. For too long, the mind has been a passive recipient of external circumstances, a canvas upon which the world paints its limitations. But what if you could fundamentally alter your relationship with your own thoughts, not by denying reality, but by understanding your true nature as the sculptor of your own future? This isn't a call for naive optimism or dismissal of challenges, but a profound recognition that the pursuit of victory is an act of intellectual and spiritual authorship. When your mind is shackled by the past, by perceived failures, or by the narrow confines of what has always been, it becomes incapable of conceiving, let alone attracting, the audacious outcomes necessary for true victory. Imagine an artist, forever staring at a blank canvas, terrified of making the first stroke, paralyzed by the fear of imperfection. The masterpiece is never created. Your greatest victory is the painting, and a reactive mindset is the fear that binds your hand. The choice is not whether challenges will arise, but how you allow yourself to be freed by their inevitability, transforming their presence into a powerful catalyst for creative visualization. This mindset reorients your entire relationship with possibility, transforming dread of the unknown into fascination with discovery and anxiety of effort into determination to create. It allows you to approach every difficult situation not with a sense of inadequacy, but with the quiet power of a visionary ready to design, a builder ready to construct, a leader ready to manifest, knowing that true progress is born from daring to imagine what others deem impossible. From this recalibrated mindset flows an unshakable belief system. The world, in its skepticism, often cultivates the belief that only what is seen is real, that only what has been done can be done again. It whispers that your dreams are too grand, your aspirations too audacious, or your path too unique, subtly eroding your conviction. This belief system is a psychological prison, preventing you from recognizing your inherent potential, from claiming your rightful place among the creators of reality, and from truly unleashing the unique genius that resides within you. It fosters a fixed mindset where unseen possibilities are dismissed as mere fantasy rather than vital blueprints for future achievement. Consider the early struggles of Walt Disney. He faced bankruptcy, rejection, and ridicule, with many claiming his vision for animated mice and talking ducks was absurd. Yet, his belief in his characters, in his vision for an entertainment empire, and ultimately for a physical, happiest place on earth, remained unyielding. If he had believed that initial setbacks or external doubts were proof of his inadequacy, the Magic Kingdom might never have been conceived. His genius wasn't in achieving immediate, pristine success. It was in his profound belief in the power of imagination, in the inherent value of his dream, and in his own capacity to learn from every attempt, however imperfect. This belief is not granted. It is earned by understanding that your inherent value is independent of external validation, that setbacks are part of the learning journey, and that true growth comes from embracing the messy reality of relentless effort. It's the quiet knowing that you are capable of handling whatever creative or professional challenge life throws at you, not because you're invincible, but because you've proven to yourself through countless imagined successes and tangible efforts that you possess an indomitable spirit of creation. This belief becomes your internal compass, guiding you through the darkest storms of self-doubt, always pointing towards the victory you have already visualized. This unshakable belief system, forged in the crucible of inner conviction, directly illuminates your clarity. The world, with its incessant noise and conflicting messages, thrives in the fog of indecision and ambiguity. It prefers a landscape shrouded in uncertainty, where every path seems equally murky and every choice feels fraught with potential missteps. But when you actively cultivate the practice of vivid visualization, your objectives become crystal clear. The path forward, however challenging, reveals itself with undeniable precision, for you have already walked it in your mind's eye. This isn't about having all the answers at once, but about possessing the mental fortitude to cut through the noise, to discern your true north, and to commit to a specific direction with unwavering focus, because you have already seen the triumphant end. Think of Abraham Lincoln navigating the tempest of civil war, facing unimaginable pressures and constant opposition. His external path was fraught with uncertainty, yet his clarity of purpose to preserve the Union and eventually abolish slavery never wavered. This unwavering clarity, even in the face of immense chaos and ambiguity, was underpinned by a powerful internal vision of a unified nation. It allowed him to make monumental decisions that shaped the course of a nation. If he had been paralyzed by the need for perfect external conditions, the very fabric of America might have disintegrated. Your clarity, when corrupted by external distractions or inner doubt, becomes a blur, binding you to the illusion that every potential pitfall must be anticipated before any significant progress can be made. It strips away illusions not by avoidance, but by paralysis, keeping your energy from the actions that will truly move you forward, trapping you in the debilitating endless loop of imagined obstacles. The truth is, the more clearly you visualize your victory, the less power external circumstances have to obscure your path, leading you towards the reality you deserve. This newfound clarity then amplifies your vision. A mind that does not visualize, that does not paint vivid mental pictures of a desired future, is a mind that shrinks its ambition, reduces its scope, and forces itself to play small. It whispers that your dreams are too grand, your aspirations too audacious, and your potential too limited. But when clarity, fueled by consistent visualization, cuts through the fog, your vision expands exponentially. It becomes a vivid, compelling future state, so real, so compelling, that the challenges of the present pale in comparison. This isn't about mere wishful thinking. It's about the courageous act of defining a future so potent, so inspiring, that it pulls you forward through every obstacle, every setback, and every moment of doubt, because you have already made that victory an inner reality. Think of Henry Ford daring to envision an automobile for the common man, not just the wealthy elite. The established industry scoffed. The financial risks were immense. Yet, his vision for accessible transportation, for a new industrial paradigm, was so powerful and so vividly held in his mind that it drove him through countless mechanical failures, financial crises, and relentless criticism. If he had been paralyzed by the inability to see the exact final product from the start, the assembly line might never have revolutionized manufacturing. Your vision, when shackled by the inability to internalize it, becomes less about what you hope for and more about what you fear attempting. It becomes a static, untouchable ideal, incapable of bending, learning, and growing, ultimately leading to its demise. But a vividly visualized vision is a living, breathing entity, constantly growing, adapting, and demanding courageous action because it has already been brought to life in the most important laboratory of all, your mind. This amplified vision, born from the power to internalize and visualize, inevitably deepens your purpose. For many, purpose remains an abstract concept, something to be discovered through introspection or serendipitous encounters. But a mind that fails to visualize its highest calling is a purpose killer. It strips away the deeper why by focusing obsessively on the what is, specifically, what are the current limitations. When the relentless reality of the present becomes the primary driver, the initial reason for embarking on the journey to serve, to create, to inspire, to build fades into the background, replaced by the suffocating weight of mundane details. Your something greater becomes overshadowed by the something manageable. Imagine a philanthropist whose purpose is to alleviate suffering, but who becomes so consumed by the visible scale of the problem that they are paralyzed, unable to initiate transformative projects. Their noble purpose is hijacked by the tyranny of tangible limitations. Similarly, your victory-driven purpose becomes compromised when shackled by the inability to see its manifestation. It drains the passion, extinguishes the fire, and transforms a sacred mission into a tedious, disheartening chore. It's the ultimate antidote to meaningful contribution, the insidious poison that slowly extinguishes your light, replacing the joy of creation with the dread of effort. Your purpose, once a beacon, becomes a dim, flickering light, almost invisible amidst the shadow of unvisualized possibilities. But a purpose fueled by a vividly visualized outcome is an unquenchable flame, illuminating the path to visualize your victory, make it your reality. This deepened purpose, ignited by a vividly visualized outcome, then empowers your discipline. Not the self-imposed grinding discipline born from obligation or external pressure, but the inspired, self-driven discipline born from an unwavering commitment to your clarified purpose. When your why is so strong that it dwarfs any what if, when your desired future is so real in your mind's eye that it pulls you forward, the consistent, incremental steps that lead to genuine victory become not a burden, but a joyful imperative. You learn to show up day in and day out, not out of fear of punishment, but out of an unshakable dedication to your unfolding triumph. Consider an athlete who becomes consumed by the sheer effort of training, seeing it only as pain and never truly visualizing the roar of the crowd, the feel of the finish line ribbon, the gleam of the medal. Their potential is squandered in the pursuit of an ideal that prevents actual engagement. Similarly, when discipline is divorced from a compelling visualization of victory, it becomes a chore, a source of profound self-flagellation rather than empowered action. You learn to avoid rather than to engage, to delay rather than to launch. This isn't about being meticulous. It's about being relentlessly self-critical, about showing up only for the illusion of safety, day in and day out, regardless of the external storm or the internal exhaustion. This is the discipline that not only ensures stagnation through potential breakthroughs, but also propels you to unparalleled depths of self-doubt and unfulfilled potential. But a discipline born from a deeply held mental image of success is a living, breathing force, constantly adapting, constantly pushing, always propelling you toward the victory you envision. It is the unwavering commitment to the process, day in and day out, regardless of the external storm or the internal doubt, that truly transforms aspiration into accomplishment. From this empowered discipline, fueled by vivid visualization, springs decisive action, not as a hurried, reactive response, but as a calculated, fearless advance born from clarity and purpose. In the absence of a clear mental picture of success, action becomes less about doing the right things and more about avoiding any wrong thing. The pressure to guarantee success leads to endless analysis, reanalysis, and revision, trapping you in a perpetual state of almost ready, but never launched. The real world, with its deadlines and demands, moves on while you are caught in the quagmire of internal critique. This is where true ingenuity shines, not by being perfect, but by being resourceful and adaptable in the face of inevitable challenges. Think of a general who never moves their troops because they are terrified of suffering any casualties. Their strategy may be theoretically perfect, but it achieves no victory because it lacks decisive action. Their courage is squandered in the pursuit of an ideal that prevents actual engagement. Similarly, your potential for triumph is stifled when action is chained to a lack of visualized success. Every challenge becomes an excuse for further delay. Every setback a justification for retreating into endless analysis. This inaction isn't strategic. It's self-defeating, stagnant, and deeply ineffective, ensuring that your valuable ideas and contributions remain trapped within the confines of your own unyielding apprehension. It builds a wall, not momentum, proving that conscious, purposeful action, even imperfect action, is the ultimate antidote to the paralyzing grip of fear. It is the bold decision to move forward, regardless of the internal whispers or external uncertainties, that truly separates those who dream of victory from those who achieve it. As you embody this decisive action, especially in the face of opportunities, a profound sense of gratitude begins to emerge. This isn't the superficial gratitude for comforts and conveniences. This is a deeper, more profound appreciation for the lessons learned, for the progress made, for the very capacity to even attempt something so audacious. When you're no longer fixated on the what-ifs or the could-haves, when you actively visualize the unfolding triumph, you begin to truly acknowledge the effort expended, the skills developed, and the breakthroughs, however small, that have already occurred. This grateful perspective becomes a replenishing internal force, fostering joy and energy instead of bitterness and resentment. Consider the entrepreneur who celebrates every single customer, every small victory, every learning experience, rather than being solely focused on the ultimate financial goal. Their joy is derived from the journey, not just the destination, because they are constantly visualizing the next step, the next win. This profound sense of gratitude becomes a powerful internal force, fostering replenishment and joy instead of bitterness and resentment. It shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have achieved, from the daunting summit to the tangible progress on the path. This perspective, cultivated by the ability to visualize your victory, prevents you from finding contentment even in the midst of genuine accomplishment, transforming effort into a source of perpetual inadequacy, and robbing you of the profound appreciation for the depths of your own capacity and the preciousness of your progress itself. It's the quiet construction of inner peace, ensuring that everything you create, no matter how challenging, feels like a stepping stone to further abundance. It's the recognition that true victory isn't just about accumulation, but about the profound appreciation for the journey of audacious action. This profound gratitude, combined with decisive action and empowered discipline, all guided by a clear internal vision, cultivates an incredible capacity for adaptability. A mind that does not visualize, that clings desperately to initial plans, to specific outcomes, and to rigid ways of thinking, will see any deviation from the safe path as a monumental failure. Those who are paralyzed by the fear of the unknown, unable to pivot or innovate, are often left behind, unable to adapt to the dynamic realities of the market and of life itself. But those who embrace uncertainty as a call to adapt, to iterate, to reinvent, are the ones who not only survive but thrive, because they can continually visualize their desired outcome, even if the path to it changes. Your very adherence to a rigid, unvisualized plan prevents you from learning the invaluable lesson that rigidity is fatal and flexibility is life. You become unable to pivot, to adjust, to find new pathways when old ones are blocked, because the safe plan has no room for unexpected detours. Think of a business plan developed with painstaking detail, designed for a static market that collapses when unforeseen economic shifts occur. Its failure wasn't in its initial design, but in its inability to adapt. Its adherence to safety made it brittle. Similarly, your pursuit of victory, when chained to the absence of a flexible, visualized outcome, becomes brittle. It teaches you that clinging to a rigid ideal is a strength, when in fact it is a profound weakness. It's the understanding that the river doesn't fight the rocks, it flows around them, finding new paths, constantly moving forward. But a mind that cannot visualize a different flow demands the river carve a straight, predictable channel, regardless of the terrain, and in doing so, often prevents the flow altogether. True adaptability is born from a courageous engagement with uncertainty, allowing you to continually visualize your victory and thus navigate the shifting currents of life, always finding a path toward your desired reality. From adaptability, a truly robust resilience is born. Not the fragile, easily shattered fortitude that buckles under the slightest pressure of uncertainty, but a generative resilience that learns and grows from every setback. A mind that fails to visualize a positive outcome or only sees the potential for failure makes you exquisitely sensitive to criticism, to perceived defeats, and to any deviation from your internal ideal of perfection. When your worth is tied to guaranteed outcomes, any imperfection or unexpected obstacle feels like a devastating blow, causing your spirit to recoil, your determination to falter, and your progress to cease. You become unable to absorb blows and spring back stronger because every blow is seen as proof of your inherent vulnerability rather than an opportunity for growth. Consider the titan of industry, Andrew Carnegie. His journey to steel magnate was riddled with economic downturns, labor disputes, and fierce competition. If he had allowed the unvisualized fear of these setbacks to shatter his resolve, his industrial empire would never have risen. His resilience wasn't about avoiding challenges. It was about confronting them head-on, learning from the adversity, and using each difficulty as a forge to temper his spirit and refine his strategies, because he always held the grand vision of his success firmly in his mind. Similarly, when your drive for victory is fueled by a lack of internal visualization, failure isn't a temporary detour. It's a definitive condemnation, a devastating blow that sends you spiraling into self-doubt and inaction. Because you've cultivated a mindset of unattainable ideals, you become terrified of falling, knowing that every fall provides only evidence of your imperfection rather than an opportunity to learn how to rise with greater wisdom and determination. This brittle resilience is not about avoiding pain. It's about amplifying it, transforming minor setbacks into catastrophic emotional defeats. It's the recognition that true strength is not the absence of struggle, but the capacity to rise stronger, wiser, and more determined with every challenge encountered, a capacity utterly choked by the inability to visualize your own triumph in the face of adversity. This robust resilience, forged in the crucible of visualized engagement, actively fuels your hunger for learning. When the goal is victory, not just safety, any deviation from what is right is seen not as an error to be hidden or avoided, but as a valuable data point. You become eager for feedback, open in the face of constructive criticism, and enthusiastic to explore new methodologies that might expose your current limitations. The stakes of making a mistake become not a reason for paralysis, but a compelling invitation for curiosity, for experimentation, and for the joyful pursuit of knowledge that expands your capabilities, replacing a rigid adherence to what is already known or what is perceived to be safe because you know every lesson brings you closer to your visualized success. Think of a scientist who, through countless failed experiments, eventually uncovers a breakthrough. Their pursuit of knowledge actively embraces every wrong turn as a necessary step towards truth because they hold a clear visualization of the scientific discovery. Their commitment to learning is deepened when chained to the audacious pursuit of a visualized victory. You seek out new information, not to validate existing methods, but to expand your understanding, to discover novel pathways to unprecedented success. The stakes are high, so the lessons are profound and deeply integrated into your being, learned not from sterile theory, but from the raw, unfiltered reality of trial and error, all in service of that compelling inner image of your win. This dedication to continuous learning, when warped by a lack of clear visualization, becomes a burden. It's not a profound joy, but an anxiety-ridden chore. The less effectively you can visualize, the less effectively you can learn, the less wisely you can act, and the less profoundly you can shape your future. But when vivid visualization propels your learning, every challenge becomes a classroom, every setback a masterclass, propelling you ever closer to the victory you envision. The ultimate, crowning achievement in the journey to visualize your victory, make it your reality, is the profound cultivation of unwavering faith. This isn't a passive belief in an abstract concept, but an active, intelligent conviction in the eventual realization of your desires, despite temporary setbacks or the absence of immediate external evidence. A mind that fails to visualize, that allows itself to be bombarded by doubts and presents every obstacle as insurmountable, eventually erodes faith. It demands proof before progress, certainty before action, and guarantees before commitment. But true victory is built on the bedrock of unshakable faith in your vision, your purpose, and your own capacity to overcome any challenge that arises, because you have already seen it, felt it, and believed it into existence within the sacred space of your own consciousness. Think of Helen Keller, born blind and deaf, yet through an unyielding faith in her own potential and the power of communication, a faith born from a powerful internal vision of connection and understanding, she defied unimaginable odds to become a world-renowned author, activist, and lecturer. Her journey was paved with immense challenges, but her faith in her own ability to learn and contribute was unwavering. Had she succumbed to the fear that her limitations defined her, her profound impact on the world would have been lost. Similarly, when your pursuit of victory is chained to the need for instant results or visible progress, your faith becomes fragile. You become susceptible to every setback, every discouraging word, and every moment of doubt, leading to premature surrender. This isn't about ignoring reality. It's about discerning the unseen possibilities, holding fast to your visualized victory when the visible path is obscured, and trusting that persistent, intelligent effort will eventually bridge the gap between your present reality and your desired triumph. This unwavering faith, fueled by consistent, vivid visualization, directly powers your persistence. A mind that lacks this inner image, that persuades you that quitting at the first sign of difficulty is a sensible retreat, eventually leads to guaranteed failure. It encourages you to abandon your efforts, to pivot unnecessarily, and to relinquish your long-term goals in favor of short-term comfort. Genuine persistence, however, is born from an unshakable faith in your purpose and the profound understanding that every temporary defeat is merely a learning opportunity, a stepping stone, a necessary part of the journey towards ultimate success, because you already know the end game. Victory often hides behind the final stretch of struggle, rewarding those who refuse to yield. Consider R.H. Macy, whose early retail ventures ended in repeated failures and bankruptcies, or Henry Ford, who faced 2 bankruptcies before his ultimate success with Ford Motor Company. Their journeys were not linear paths of constant triumph, yet their persistence, fueled by an unwavering faith in their a vision they held and refined, constantly carried them through cycles of adversity that would have crushed lesser spirits. Had they allowed the fear of continued failure, unmitigated by a powerful inner vision, to dictate their actions, their names would be footnotes in the annals of entrepreneurial struggle, not titans of industry. Similarly, when your pursuit of victory is chained to the need for constant validation or immediate triumph, you abandon your efforts at the precise moment that true breakthrough is often imminent. You become a master of false starts, a connoisseur of almost there, proving that perseverance, even in the face of daunting odds, is the ultimate antidote to the paralyzing grip of fear. It builds resilience, not resignation, ensuring that your valuable ideas and contributions eventually break through to the light, guided by the luminous beacon of your visualized victory. The ultimate tragedy of sacrificing unwavering faith and persistence due to a failure to visualize is the profound loss of your future self. This isn't merely about losing potential earnings or recognition. It's about forfeiting the person you were destined to become, the wiser, more resilient, more capable, and more triumphant individual, shaped by the audacious pursuit of your highest aspirations. A mind that cannot see its own future success, that allows itself to be left unchecked by internal visualization, gradually erodes this future self, replacing your bold, evolving identity with a cautious, static version, trapped in the comfort zone of the present. True victory is not just about accumulating external rewards. It is about the internal wealth of character, wisdom, and strength forged through the relentless, faith-driven pursuit of your destiny, a destiny you first brought into being through the power of your mind's eye. Consider the countless individuals who, late in life, expressed profound regret not for the risks they took and failed, but for the opportunities they never seized, the dreams they never pursued, all due to a deep-seated fear of stepping outside their comfort zone, a fear that was never countered by a compelling inner vision. Their future selves, vibrant with potential, remained unactualized, their true contributions suppressed, their ultimate fulfillment abdicated. Similarly, when you allow the absence of vivid visualization to dictate your choices, you surrender the chance to evolve into the greatest version of yourself. You become a prisoner of your current limitations, rather than the architect of an expansive future. This isn't about recklessness. It's about reclaiming your birthright to become, to grow, and to contribute beyond your current perceived boundaries, forging a future that reflects the full, authentic expression of your soul, because you dared to visualize it first. Your future self waiting to emerge is a prize too precious to surrender to the fleeting whispers of doubt or the blank canvas of an unvisualized life. So, let this final, unyielding truth embed itself deep within your spirit. The journey to visualize your victory, make it your reality, culminates in the absolute mastery of unwavering faith, the relentless cultivation of persistence, and the ultimate realization of your magnificent future self. It is a declaration of independence from the limitations imposed by unseeing apprehension, a courageous leap into the boundless territory of your true potential. Your greatest asset isn't merely your intellect or your skills. It's your unshakable faith in your visualized triumph, your willingness to persist against all odds, and your inherent capacity to evolve into the prosperous individual you're destined to become. It's the understanding that true victory is an internal creation, meticulously built on the bedrock of conviction and the unwavering pursuit of your own magnificent destiny, even when the path is long and the challenges loom large. The world doesn't need more disheartened dreamers. It desperately needs more courageous doers, more persistent innovators, and more faith-driven visionaries who dare to chart their own course and bring their own visualized victories into tangible existence, regardless of the prevailing winds of doubt. Your destiny isn't a matter of chance. It's a matter of choice. The choice to visualize your victory, make it your reality, is yours, and it's available to you unequivocally now. Go forth, then, not just to survive, but to thrive with unshakable faith, guided by the vivid imagery of your triumph. Let your life be a testament to the power of persistence, a living blueprint for the courageous pursuit of victory. Stand tall, embrace your future self, and illuminate the path for others by daring to live a life unburdened by fear, a life where victory isn't just achieved, but deeply, authentically, and courageously visualized into reality. Your transformation is complete. Your victory awaits. The time for your unapologetically faith-driven, magnificently realized emergence is now.